welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the strategy behind Ishara Chinthaka Nanayakkara. I mean, a huge figure in Sri Lanka's business world.
Absolutely.
We're going to look at how he built this empire, really, starting from a family automotive import business way back in '73.
Right.
And by late 2019, he's recognized as Sri Lanka's wealthiest person. We're talking an estimated net worth around US $1.6 billion.
It's incredible. And he had that early international exposure, too. Training in Japan, getting a diploma in Australia. Sets a tone, doesn't it?
It does. Shows a global view right from the start.
But you know, what's really interesting here, I think, is that it's not just a story about getting rich. It's a fantastic study in strategic vision.
Okay.
So our mission today really is to unpack how he built this thing up. We'll focus on three main parts: LOLC Holdings, Brands Investments, and Brown & Company.
All right, let's dive in. Start with the big one, LOLC Holdings PLC. It's called the world's largest multi-currency, multi-geography MSME financing platform. That's a huge claim. How did they even get there?
Well, it's a very deliberate strategy. LOLC zeroed in on micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, and crucially in developing economies. Think Asia, Africa, Cambodia, Myanmar, Nigeria, Zambia, places with this huge, often overlooked market.
Tapping into unmet needs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's smart because it drives financial inclusion, which is important, but it's also structured to be really profitable. And the numbers back it up.
How so?
Their assets hit, Rs 2.03 trillion by FY 24-25, and profit after tax almost doubled up 89% to Rs 41 billion. That's massive growth.
Wow.
And importantly, they're managing risk. Their net non-performing loan ratio, basically, bad loans, they slashed it, went from over 10% down to just under 5%. Shows tight control.
That's impressive risk management at that scale.
It really is. And they're not afraid to make big moves to reshape the portfolio either, like selling off 70% of their Cambodian microfinance arm, PRASAC.
Yes, I saw that, for a huge sum, right?
Over $600 million US. And the idea is to strategically reinvest that capital. It shows they're actively managing their assets, not just holding them.
Okay, so that's the finance powerhouse. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me. How does Brown's Investments PLC fit into this? It feels quite different.
It is different, yeah. Brown's Investments is more the strategic investment vehicle. The aim is a balanced portfolio, but across sectors with high growth potential.
And they made that huge move into tea, didn't they?
They certainly did. They've rapidly become the largest producer of tea globally. Think about that. An annual capacity around 100 million kilograms.
How did they manage that so quickly?
Big acquisitions. Buying James Finlay, Kenya was key, and also Lipton's operations in Africa. Really aggressive moves.
And financially, how's it doing?
Big turnaround. They went from an Rs 11.9 billion loss before tax in the previous year to an Rs 11.1 billion profit before tax in FY 2023-24. So massive swing.
Shows the strategy is paying off there, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the finance engine, the strategic investor. What about the third pillar? Brown & Company PLC. That one's got history.
A lot of history. A century and a half. Brown & Company is really the stable bedrock of the whole group. It's highly diversified.
In what areas?
Oh, across the board. Agriculture, automotive, industrial solutions, even things like veterinary pharmaceuticals. It operates through more than 50 subsidiaries. It's the anchor.
Providing stability.
Exactly. And it's also had its own impressive turnaround. Reported a profit before tax of Rs 25.8 billion for the year ending March 31st, 2025. That's compared to a pretty big loss the year before.
So all three core parts are showing strong performance after maybe some tougher times.
Right. And if you step back and look at the whole picture, you see this cohesive strategy emerging.
How would you describe that?
They're using the core financial strength, mainly from LOLC, to fuel growth across the board. Diversifying into traditional sectors, yes, but also pushing into really cutting-edge areas like nanotechnology and biotech.
Interesting.
And all the while expanding strategically overseas with a big focus on Africa recently.
So this mix of businesses, this multi-sector approach, it obviously creates different income streams, makes the whole group more resilient to economic ups and downs, I suppose.
Precisely. It spreads the risk. And it shows their dynamic, always looking for the next opportunity. It's quite an opportunistic investment style, but clearly well thought out.
So boiling it down, what's the key takeaway here for you? What can we learn from Nanayakkara's playbook?
I think it's a masterclass in strategic execution.
Yeah.
It's not just about diversifying for the sake of it. It's about finding undervalued or overlooked opportunities, maybe in niche financial markets, maybe in specific geographies like Africa, maybe in traditional industries ripe for consolidation like tea,
And scaling them hard.
and scaling them hard, using that financial strength and strategic capital. It's about adapting and evolving in what's obviously a very complex global environment.
Okay. So final thought for our listeners to maybe chew on.
Yeah, I think this whole story raises a really important question, doesn't it? For other business leaders, or even if you're just an individual investor, what can you take away from a strategy that so effectively blends deep-rooted, almost traditional domestic businesses with really aggressive expansion into these underserved international markets and bets on future tech?
Right. Combining the old and the new, the local and the global.
Exactly. It makes you think about how that kind of integrated diversification, that blend, could work for creating serious long-term value, something to consider.